The Republic of China Air Force is the aviation branch of the Taiwanese military. The ROCAF's primary mission is the defense of the airspace over and around Taiwan. Priorities of the ROCAF include the development of long-range reconnaissance and surveillance networks, integrating C4ISDAR systems to increase battle effectiveness, procuring counterstrike weapons, next-generation fighters, and hardening airfields and other facilities to survive a surprise attack. In May 2005, the Ministry of National Defense indicated its intention to transfer command of all defensive missile systems to the ROCAF, while future offensive missiles would be placed under a newly formed missile command. As of 2006, all medium and long-range SAM units were transferred from ROC Army's Missile Command to ROCAF, while ROCAF's airbase security units were transferred to ROC Army Military Police. But it's revealed in January 2011, 5 years of problems of integrating those long-range ex-ROC Army SAM units into ROCAF has forced ROCAF High Command to return those units back to ROC Army's Missile Command. Missile Command is now directly under Defense Ministry's GHQ control. In July 2010, a former United States Air Force Deputy Undersecretary for International Affairs, Bruce Lemkin, said that Taiwan's ability to defend its airspace had degraded due to its aging fighters and that the sale of new fighter aircraft to Taiwan was an urgent priority. On the 21st of September 2011, it was announced that the U.S. had agreed to a $5 billion upgrade to the F-16S. In 2012, Rob Nabors wrote that the United States was considering the sale of fighter aircraft to the ROC organization. Like most of the other branches of the ROC Armed Forces, much of the ROCAF structure and organization is patterned after the United States Air Force. Like the USAF, the ROCAF used to have a wing group squadron structure. After November 2004, Tactical Fighter Wing switched to Wing Tactical Fighter Group, with some fighter squadrons stood down, with each tactical fighter group still pretty much the same size as a squadron, now commanded by a full colonel. Republic of China Air Force Command Headquarters Air Force GHQ is subordinate to the Chief of the General Staff, the Minister of National Defense and the President. Internal units, personnel, combat readiness and training, logistics, planning, communications, electronics and AMP, information, general affairs, controller, inspector general, political warfare, Air Force Combatant Command, Weather Wing, Tamsuik, New Taipei City, Communications, Air Traffic Control and AMP, Information Wing, Taipei City, Air Tactical Control Wing, ground fixed and mobile long-range air search radar sites consist of various TPS-117, TPS-75V, FPS-117, GE-592 and HADR radars, plus one Pave Paws early warning radar site in northern Taiwan, will enter service late 2012. Air Defense Artillery Command, 4 Air Defense Missile and AMP Artillery Brigades, 951st, 952nd, 953rd, 954th, 4 Air Defense Missile Hawk Battalions, 621st, 622nd, 662nd, and 664th Battalions, with Phase 3 and 7 Phase 1 batteries, 1 T PK-1/2 Air Defense Missile Battalion, 951st Brigade, 611th Battalion with 6 companies, batteries, 1 Patriot PAC-2 plus GEM, PAC-3 Air Defense, Anti-Ballistic Missile Battalion, with 3 mixed companies, batteries that are all upgrading to PAC-3 standard, with 7 more PAC-3 companies, batteries on order, 1 Skyguard Short-Range Airbase Air Defense Battalion, with 6 companies, batteries and radar subunits with OTO 35mm AAAS, 2 Antelope Short-Range Airbase Air Defense Battalions, with unknown companies, batteries, at least 2 AAA Air Defense Artillery Battalions, with 40mm L60 and 12.7mm AAA guns. Air Defense Artillery Training Center, Pingtung Target Service Squadron Education Service Support Company, 1st Training Company, 2nd Training Company, 3rd Training Company, Education, Training and AMP, Doctrine Command. History. Formally established in 1920 as the Aviation Ministry, the ROCAF was active during the tenure of the ROC on mainland China. In this period, various airplanes were purchased and deployed by warlords in the struggle for power until nominal Chinese reunification in 1928. In February 1932, U.S. Reserve LT Robert Macaulay Short, who was transporting armed Chinese aircraft, shot down an IJN aircraft on February 19, 1932 and downed another on February 22 before he was killed. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, the ROCAF participated in attacks on Japanese warships on the Eastern Front and along the Yangtze River, including support for the Battle of Shanghai in 1937. The Chinese frontline fighter aircraft initially were mainly the Curtiss Hawk II and III and the Boeing P-26 Model 281, and engaged Japanese fighters in many major air battles beginning on August 14, 1937, when Imperial Japanese Navy warplanes raided Chenqiao Air Base. 814 has thus become known as Air Force Day. Chinese Boeing P-26 281st fighters engaged Japanese Mitsubishi A-5M fighters in what is among the world's first aerial dogfighting between all-metal, monoplane fighter aircraft. A unique mission in April 1938 saw 2 Chinese B-10 bombers fly a mission over Japan, but dropping only propaganda leaflets over the Japanese cities of Nagasaki and Saga. It was a war of attrition for the Chinese pilots, as many of the most experienced ace fighter pilots, such as Lieutenant Lu Suikang and Colonel Cao Chi-hang, were lost early in the war. In the latter half of the Sino-Japanese War, part of World War II, the ROCAF was augmented by a volunteer group of American pilots in 1941. Throughout the war, the ROCAF was involved in attacks on Japanese air and ground forces in the Chinese theater. ROCAF General HQ was established in June 1946. From 1946 to 1948, during the Chinese Civil War, the ROCAF participated in combat against the People's Liberation Army, engaging in air-to-air combat on at least 11 occasions in the areas surrounding the Taiwan Strait. The ROCAF reportedly enjoyed a 31-to-1 kill ratio against the PLA. GHQ was evacuated to Taiwan along with the rest of the ROC government in April 1949, following the Communist victory in the Chinese Civil War. The ROCAF assisted in halting the PLA advance at the Battle of Kuningtou on Kinmen the same year. The ROCAF regularly patrolled the Taiwan Straits and fought many engagements with its communist counterpart. The ROCAF received second-hand equipment from the U.S. at the time, such as the F-86 Sabre jets, F-100 and F-104. During the Cold War, the ROCAF was involved in combat air patrols over the Taiwan Strait and engaged the PLAAF and Plan AF on several occasions. The ROCAF was also the testbed of American technology at this time. The first successful kill scored by an air-to-air missile was accomplished by an ROCAF F-86 Sabre jet with an experimental AIM-9 Sidewinder. ROCAF pilots also flew U-2 recon overflights of the PRC during this time with assistance from the USAF. Known as the Black Cat Squadron, they flew a total of 220 missions, with 102 missions over mainland China, losing 5 planes. All 5 were shot down by SA-2 surface-to-air missiles, the same type of surface-to-air missile that shot down Gary Powers over the USSR in 1960. The 34th Black Bat Squadron flew low-level missions into China as part of its mapping PRC growing air defense networks, conducting ESM and ECM missions, inserting agents behind enemy lines, and airdrop resupply missions. Since November 1967, the ROC secretly operated a cargo transport detachment to assist the US and the ROV. It was based on existing formation of the 34th Squadron of ROC Air Force. The unit's strength included 2 cargo aircraft, 7 flight officers and 2 mechanics, even though a higher number of military personnel was involved through rotation. It was tasked with air transportation, airdrop and electronic reconnaissance. Some 25 members of the unit were killed, among them 17 pilots and co-pilots, and 3 aircraft were lost. Other ROC involvement in Vietnam included a secret listening station, special reconnaissance and raiding squads, military advisors and civilian airline operations. Humanitarian operations. The ROCAF has also taken part in numerous humanitarian operations. Some of the more major ones include the following: Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami, December 2004. Haiti earthquake, January 2010. Typhoon Haiyan, November 2013. Equipment and procurement. Current ROCAF inventory includes over 400 combat aircraft, the mainstays being the AIDCF CK-1 Chinkuo IDF and F-16, while the Mirage 2000-5 provides the most formidable air defense capabilities. Older F-5 fighters are gradually being phased out but remain in service. The United States serves as the ROCAF's main supplier of equipment and also provides training for ROCAF and ROC Navy pilots at LUCAFB in Arizona. This base, which is between Phoenix and Tucson, has an instrumented flight area for training approximately the size of the state of Connecticut. German Air Force and German Naval Aviation, who used to train at LUCAFB from 1957 to 1983, now train at NATO facilities at CFB Goose Bay in Canada, and also alongside the USAF at Holloman AFB in New Mexico. Domestic development. Prior to 1984, ROCAF fighters were almost exclusively American-made aircraft sold under terms of a mutual defense treaty between the Republic of China and the United States. Development of the FCK-1 Chinkuo indigenous defense fighter began in 1984 due to U.S. refusal to sell F-16s to the ROCAF as a result of changes in national policy between the U.S. and the People's Republic of China. After a successful maiden flight in 1989, the domestically produced fighter entered service in 1994. However, the ROCAF was subsequently able to obtain F-16s from the United States as well as Mirage 2005 fighters from France, resulting in delays to later IDF development that had been anticipated. In response to American refusals to supply smart bombs, Taiwan is developing their own equivalent of the Joint Direct Attack munition for attacks against the PRC mainland in case of invasion. Preparations. Foreign procurement. In January 2006, the ROCAF announced interest in procuring planes with VSTOL capability, especially the F-35. The ROCAF also sought next-generation upgrades to its current F-16s and Mirage 2005s and, in mid-2006, announced plans to buy 66 F-16C D Block 52 aircraft from the U.S. for $3.1 billion USD. Later that year, however, the U.S. delayed the purchase, according to sources cited by National Defense Minister Lee Jae-won. The American stance was that, until a long-stalled arms purchase package consisting of 6 Patriot missile batteries, 12 P-3C Orion anti-submarine aircraft and 8 conventional submarines cleared the legislature, it did not see the ROC as having a consistent military procurement plan. On February 28, 2007, the U.S. Defense Department approved an order made by the ROC for 218 AIM-120C7 AMRAAM missiles, as well as 235 AGM-65G2 Maverick missiles, associated launchers and other equipment. The total value of this order was revealed to be $421 million USD. In June 2007, the Legislative Yuan also approved the upgrade of the existing PAC-2 batteries to PAC-3 standard, and, in November, the Pentagon notified the U.S. Congress of the Patriot Upgrade Order. On August 10, 2007, a shipment of Harpoon anti-ship missiles, valued at an estimated $125 million, was also authorized by the U.S. Defense Department, including 60 AGM-84L Block II missiles and 50 upgrade kits to bring the ROCAF's existing Harpoons up to Block II Mark L standard. On October 3, 2008, arms notifications were sent to Congress concerning, amongst other things, the sale of 330 PAC-3 missiles, 4 missile batteries, radar sets, ground stations and other equipment valued up to $3.1 billion USD. The upgrade of 4 E-2T aircraft to the Hawkeye 2000 standard and $334 million USD worth of spare parts for the ROCAF's F-16S IDFs, F-5EFs and C-130S. Late in January 2010, ROCAF received the first batch of new TC-2BVR missiles ordered from CSISD, believed to have new radar seeker and improved performance from the original missile which entered service over 10 years ago. The U.S. government also announced 5 notifications to Congress for additional arms sales totaling some $6.39 billion USD, under which the ROCAF will receive 3 PAC-3 batteries with 26 launchers and 114 PAC-3 missiles. On February 3, 2010, ROCAF also announced it of Singapore Air Show that it had signed a new contract for 3 EC-225SAR helicopters that was awarded to Eurocopter back in December 2009 for $111 million USD. along with options for 17 more EC-225s. On November 26, 2011, the 3 EC-225 CSAR helicopters were loaded on board an An-124 cargo plane and delivered to Chiayi in Taiwan, and should enter service on July 1, 2012. On August 31, 2010, it was announced for next year's defense budget, ROCAF's medium transport aircraft plan to replace 12 B-190 VIP transport training aircraft, believed to be 6 to 8 plus Lockheed C-27J, has been put on hold and might be axed due to lack of budget, but will allocate $20+ million over next 4 years for quick runway repair. Other items mentioned including increases in runways from 3 to 6 at eastern Taiwan's 3 air bases, moving 2 I-Hawk batteries to eastern Taiwan to protect those air bases, which will double to 4 batteries, and others. On November 8, 2011, a second pair of E-2T Hawkeye AEW were loaded on a ship and sent to the U.S. for upgrade to the E-2C-2000 standard. The first pair of E-2T were sent to the U.S. in June 2010 and returned to Taiwan on December 18, 2011, and will be returned to service by end of the year. On August 15, 2011, the United States again deferred the ROCAF request to purchase 66 new F-16Ds but offered a retrofit package for older F-16Bs, a $5.3 billion upgrade package for ROCAF's existing F-16B fighters was announced on the 21st of September 2011. The upgrade budget was to be spread over 12 years, though the Ministry of Defense indicated that it would try to reduce the period. In November 2011, the United States-China Economic and Security Review Commission recommended that new fighters be sold to the ROCAF. Nonetheless, as of 2012, the MND was still haggling with the Pentagon over cost and local industry participation on the upgrade. After denying the ROC Air Force the funds needed to upgrade the jet engines, President Ma Ying-jeou said that he hoped that the upgraded fighters would have on-par performance. Taiwan is also balking at the cost of the radar upgrade, as it does not want to be the lead customer who pays to develop the upgrade, and also because they will be unable to afford both the upgrade and the new fighters, should these be offered. In response to a U.S. vote in the House of Representatives to force the sale of the C-D models, the ROC-MND said that the upgrade package offered some superior capabilities over the C-D model aircraft, and some defense officials have said that, in light of the PRC's increasing capabilities, only the F-35 would be sufficient. In July 2012, Taiwan's Aerospace Industrial Development Corp. and Lockheed Martin announced plans to establish a maintenance and overhaul center to upgrade and maintain the F-16s in place without having to ship them back to the United States. In 2012, a letter of acceptance was agreed on for a $3.8 billion deal that included the radars, electronic warfare, structural improvements and new weapons. The high cost of the fighter upgrade is causing other modernization priorities such as tanks to be pushed back. A Pentagon report has corroborated that claim, asserting that the PRC would probably seek to destroy ROCAF airfields in the first stages of any attack, making a SDOVL fighter such as the F-35B vital for effective defense. Taiwan's 144-craft F-16B fleet is currently being upgraded to the F-16V variant by Lockheed Martin in an upgrade program worth $1.85 billion United States dollars. The F-16V is equipped with the Northrop Grumman Scalable Agile Beam Radar and has enhanced enhanced mission computers, vehicle systems, aircraft structure, cockpit and electronic warfare systems, aircraft.